Hi, everybody. My name is Graham Williamson. I'm intuitive, evidential medium, and psychic, and you're looking at my show called Dare to Dream. And it's a special show today. It's about those that have passed that you've loved, or those that have passed that have loved you. And a lot of people say, are they still with us? Well, it's funny you should say that because simple answer, yes, they are. Because everybody remembers their loved one passing. It's up here. And it's in your heart. Spirit have a unique way of tapping into your memories. They use your memories and activate them. So you can be doing something totally different, like writing a bill or watching telly, and all of a sudden you think about your friend or your loved one. You go, what? Is spirit actually stimulating your memories so you're aware that they're around you? Most people don't know that that is the case. This is my opinion, and I've found it to be true for me, for all the people I've encountered, the recipients I've done readings for. It's just the way I have grown up to recognize the spirit loved ones trigger your memories. And that means a great deal to me because, believe it or not, I came over to America in December 2001. And I hadn't really spoken to my mother very much, but I was lucky enough to see her in November before I came over. And a very significant thing happened between me, my mother, and my stepfather, Derek. He never believed in what I could do with spirit. He didn't understand it. He was a pretty scientific guy. He wasn't a scientist, but he loved learning stuff. And he, for years, 30 odd years, tried to say, just can't fathom what you're doing. It's all make believe. And I asked for guidance. And I said to Spirit, this will probably be the last time I see him. And my mum. Mum knew about it because she was a rescue medium. But my dad, he didn't. So then it hit me. Dad, you love my mum. In the same context that you know you love mum, I know past loved ones are with us because of the love. And he looked at me and he said, what do you want me to do? I said, think about it. How do you feel about those that you loved in the past? Your mum, your dad, and all the other people that you've loved, that you know have passed. How do you feel about it? And he goes, in the same way that you do what you do and I don't believe it. I said, yeah. We sat there for 10 minutes. And he just had this big smile come on his face, stood up and shook my hand. He said, now I understand. All those memories of all those people I knew and loved are running through my head. I said, yeah, because they're with you still. You will never lose that connection with those that you shared love with. And don't forget, love is a very powerful word. It's a very big word. We use love for a multitude of things. But the main thing is it's positivity. It's empathy. It's caring. It's compassion. It's respect. It's all these things, plus many more. But you see, when you understand that you've connected with somebody in a nice way, they'll remember it. Even just helping somebody on the street, and you give them, look, you lose change. They go, thanks, Governor. Well, I am from England. And they say, thanks, Governor. That means a lot. I'll remember. And then you find out they passed away. And then I bump into another guy who says, you helped my friend who died the other week. He was talking about you for a long time. What? So even the simplest gesture, opening a door for somebody, helping somebody in difficulty the best you can. That connection is powerful. It gives somebody the chance to believe there's respect in this world, there's empathy, there's care, compassion, all these things. But as a psychic, we all have feelings, and I've touched on this a few times on my show. And the psychic side is the material side. But as a medium, my energy is a little bit higher, and it enables me to be at a level with spirit to communicate by tapping into those memories, tapping into my body to feel things that I know don't belong to me, but is memory of something that I experienced. Because believe it or not, all our lives are about our spirit having a human experience. And that's important because our minds don't forget. Consciously we do. Subconsciously, I doubt we forget much at all. So we've got all this information buzzing around in our head. And the side issue is we don't use all of our brains. We don't really know what the brain does and how it does it. We're learning. We can come out with a couple of theories, but we still really don't understand the brain. But the main one is the brain and the heart are connected. The heart one has a brain as well, evidently. So all this is being triggered by energy. We call it electrical energy, but energy nonetheless. And this energy is in everything. And some of us can actually feel this energy. We call it the auric field, or the aura around somebody. That field of energy that goes all the way. A lot of you have seen those aura pictures that show the different wavelengths. Well, that's the intensity of the energy emanating from within the person externally. And some have multicolors, some have simple colors, some have bright colors, some have dull colors. But every single person is different. And every person's memory is different. There's no two people exactly alike. Close, but not exactly. That's what makes us individual. And I came up with this topic today, are they still with us? How many of you have had somebody who's passed and you just look at a picture and think, I still wish they were with us? Or I remember doing such and such. I've got a picture of my grandfather that was painted, well, hand-drawn by a medium I know called Diane Matthews. It's phenomenal. And she drew a picture of my grandfather who died in the late 60s. She'd never met him, she'd never seen him, but she drew this picture. And apart from the hair partings, which is slightly different, every poise, position of his head, the shirt he's wearing is exactly the same position as a photograph I have on my computer. And I see this picture, and my grandfather saved our lives when we were kids. We used to go to a movie theatre and watching all the cartoons, you know, as you do, from 4 upwards to about 9, and you're watching all those cartoons, loved it. And I went with my 3 older sisters and my younger brother at the time, and I just saw this big face on the screen halfway through the cartoons. I thought, what? That's Granddad. And all he said was, get out. Get out. I stood up, looked at the others, says, Granddad says, get out, now. We all left. 2 weeks later, the place burned down. I don't know how to explain it. But my grandfather, who'd been dead for years, I was very young, came to us and showed us something was going to happen. We never doubted Granddad. You don't doubt your grandparents. You don't doubt your parents more often than not. But why? Because that love connection, he knew what was going to happen before we did. Because spirit have no time as we understand it. It's not linear like we understand it. And they can see past, present, and future, the here and now. That's why when you come in spirit form into the human body, you've got memories of when you were up there looking down. And I'm using that figuratively speaking to make it easy to understand. Everybody believes heaven's up there and hell's down that way. But hell's where you make it. And heaven's where you make it. That's another show. But you see, when you understand about the positivity of energy and the communication through that energy, for some people called mediums are able to perceive it, understand it, and pass it on. Understand the message, I should say, not understand the energy. All we know is something's different in us and we automatically respond to it. It's called intuition. We learn to trust ourselves, our inner intuition. And spirit tap into our memories all the time. And even my mother, when she passed away, I'd spoken to her for 2 hours the night before she was due to have an operation. She knew she wouldn't survive. But within an hour of her passing, it was middle of the night over here when she passed away, my wife woke up to the smell of lilac. She didn't know that was my mum's favourite scent. And it was also a tree outside my grandmother's house, my nana's house. They are with us because of love. The true meaning of the word, of love. Think about it. But this show, Dare to Dream, is on goingsolomedia.com. It's Going Bold Wednesday, and it's WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network, radio, TV, and podcasts. And I'm your host, Graham Williamson, international intuitive, evidential medium, and psychic. And I would like for you to give us a buzz and contact me. My website is my email is amedium77@gmail.com. My website is mediumgrahamwilliamson.online. Leave me a comment, message, or phone me. This is the real one. 352-409-1060. Leave a voice message and I will get back to you. If you don't leave a voice message, I'll ignore it. Because it's like our loved ones have passed. They leave us messages with our memories. They stimulate those messages with our memories. And you act accordingly. Sometimes you don't want to see your loved one because it's too painful. Oh, it hurts. I miss them so much. But remember why you are feeling pain. It's because your body's saying you're alive. You can change, move a different way. Accept or deny or step away. Do whatever you need to do to avoid pain. Because if you've got pain, it means you're alive. I know it's horrible. I've been in pain a lot of times. But I found out half the time it was my own fault. I had choices. I made wrong choices. We all do. And I don't think there's anybody on this earth that's never made a wrong choice. But the whole point is, I've learnt from it and I don't sit in the past dwelling on it. So, oh, I wish I could have done this. Oh, no. I could have done this. I could have done that. Yeah, we've all got regrets. But this is our heaven on earth. You make it hell if you want to. Well, you make it heaven if you want to. That's your choice. I'm not going religious. It's nothing about religion. It's about how you deal with your life on this earth. I get joy looking at these pictures behind me and the memorabilia I've got. And they give me happy memories. My grandson's picture on that side, my mum's picture, my daughter's, and my nana's dishes. This one. From my grandmother. My nana. All these things trigger memories in me. And they mean a lot. Because sometimes I need their guidance. What would they say to me if they were here physically? I've learned it's the same as when they're on the other side. They gave you so many words when they were alive. Important things, or inconsequential, laughter, anger, whatever. It's how you deal with it and say, well, I did that and I got my knuckles wrapped, or I did that and I burst out laughing, and I did something else and something else happened. These are all experiences, all memories. And I can look back and see my grandmother telling me off, guiding me, supporting me, leaving me alone sometimes, or getting in my face sometimes. But she did it out of love. And that was the bond. I still see her in my mind's eye, and I still hear her voice. I still smell her perfume, and I still see she had pure white hair, full head of hair, and she had a blue tint or a lilac tint, or whatever colours it was. I think it used to make me laugh. I think, how does she get that blue on the top, not inside of white hair, but on the top of white? It took me years to find that out. Sprays. Hey, I was a kid, but I look back and I see them in my memories. And as a medium, I've learned to talk to them, literally open my mouth and speak to them as though they were still physically here. I know they're not. And you wish you could change some things, but you can't. When they've passed, that's it. They can only communicate through your memories. They can show you things sometimes. They can move things sometimes on this plane of existence. But you've got to be in the right place at the right time in the right circumstance. And you've all heard about the ghost hunters, and you go to haunted places and all this sort. It's because we've put a cross or a grave and put a marker on it and said, that's where they are. Complete. That's where they are. No. They're not in a box. The physical body is, but their spirit isn't in a box. They're in here. They're connected by that energy. Wherever spirit actually hang out and are able to view and listen and interact with mediums, with loved ones, by intuition, whatever. Talk to them. You know how they were. And if they gave you pain, say, why? And 9 times out of 10, you'll hear, sorry, I didn't know better. Even the most wicked people have redemption when they pass over, and they wish they could have done something different. Some no hope on this side of the plane of existence, but that's their story. I'm on about my story, sharing it with you. As a medium and talking to those that have passed. A lady came to me last weekend. I was in Tampa. She was overwrought, looking for her daughter. Didn't know where she was. And she almost demanded that I tell her where her daughter was. And honestly, I said, I don't know. I don't know if she's on this plane of existence or on the other side. I cannot be 100% accurate. But what I feel is that you are demanding your daughter back in your life now for the wrong reasons. Why did your daughter leave? I said, what? I said, why did your daughter leave? Oh, my husband said something. Stepfather said something to him. She didn't like it. So she left because of something else. So why don't you get yourself sorted so your home is happy, ready for when your daughter, if she comes back? I said, because we have children to be our best, to do better than us, to grow up and hopefully do better than us. But we can't control them. We can't say, you've got to stay here because you're our kids. No, I don't think so. And I talked, let's say I was very fortunate. I was in Sarasota the week before last and Tampa last weekend. Phenomenal spiritual events. I was talking to so many people and giving them a piece of evidential mediumship of loved ones. And one was, why did you keep on changing your shoes before you came out? Why did you lose an earring and have a job putting it in when you found it? And these were all just before they came to the event. And this one said, how do you know that? Your mother's saying, you never learn how to put things away. You never learn how to put them in properly. How did you know that? I said, because your mum's here. What's mum saying? I said, she's already told you. You don't talk to her anymore because you think she's dead. She doesn't hear you. And you're muttering away, In the car, you were saying things like, nah, she won't come. No. How did you know that? I said, well, your friend was with you. What friend? I said, you don't know who your friend is? Was it sitting in the car with you? You drove together talking about your mum? She was spellbound. She said, how did I? I said, because she's telling me. It sounds far-fetched. I don't know how I do it. But I learned from my memories what belonged to me and what belongs to other people. I know now, over the years, I've been doing this for a long time, I'm 68 now, I started about 3.5, that my memories are triggered by spirit for a reason. I've learned to adapt and understand what is for me and what is for a recipient. When I'm doing readings for people, I state quite clearly, I'm not 100% accurate. I do my best. It's up to you. And if you hear a barking noise in a minute, don't worry, it's my dog. My daughter's just come out, my oldest. So, you see, spirit always with you. I, in fact, have to say to my guides, who are always with us, back off a bit. I need peace. And only wake me up at night time when it's life or death. Now, I've got a story to tell you. What happened when I was at Sarasota? Here she goes. My daughter, when I got to Sarasota Park in the state park, I went to sleep. I was woken up 10 to 7 in the evening, funny popping noises. I looked out of my camper, looked to the front, my camper was on fire. Literally on fire on the front. I don't know what caused the fire at the time, still don't, 100%. But I put the fire out with the help of a park ranger, an innocent bystander who called park ranger. Fire brigade came over, checked, everything was safe. Everything was out of power surge, lightning strike, and then the day after I found out a log had fallen onto my solar panels and smashed it. So it could have been due to that as well. We don't know what actually happened. But I woke up without any harm. Nothing inside that camper was harmed. And the fireman and the ranger looked at me and said, you're not even bothered. 10 minutes after this event, your batteries are burnt out, the front of your camper's burnt up, your TV aerial's burnt up. I said, whoa. I'm safe. Nothing happened to me physically. I said, I can get in my car and go home to my wife. That's all that matters to me. This is material. Yeah, it's sad, but it's not my life. My life is with my wife, my love. This really happened a week last Saturday. So you see, I knew instinctively I was safe because my guides came through. I didn't know what it was. I didn't hear the bang. Evidently it was lightning. One of my fireman friends looked at it and said, yep, that was a lightning strike. But I didn't hear anything. I just heard the popping noises of the battery basically blowing up on fire. Everything was isolated pretty quick. There was no damage inside the vehicle at all, the camper at all. But you see, I've learned to trust them, and I said, thank you, Spirit, for making me safe. Thank you for getting me out there in time to hear and put the fire out. Because if I hadn't heard the popping sounds, I could have been injured or even dead. Then I'd be haunting everybody else. You see, our guides are always with us. We may not consciously know about it, but sometimes we go, oh, just thinking about such and such. Get goosebumps on the hairs, back of the neck, up the back. They're always with you. But I want you to think about the times of your loved ones that have passed, or they don't even have to be passed to be able to connect with you, because the spirit is of a living and a past person. You know instinctively when you like people and you're chatting away, you feel like you've known them all your life, because that energy is there. It's a bridge. So it also carries over into the afterlife. You've all experienced it. You walk into a place and you don't feel comfortable, and you think, "No, I'm getting out of here." Another time you say, "Yeah, I want to stay," and it was fantastic. Well, you learn a lesson. That's the important part, learning from what happens in your life at any given moment. And being thankful you've had a chance to go, "Whew, that was a good lesson," or "Yeah, that was a good lesson." But this is why I do my show, Dare to Dream, on goingsolomedia.com. Going Bold Wednesday, going solo. It's not about being alone. It's about being an individual true to self. You are an individual. There's nobody else like you. Similar, but not like you. No, exactly. And you connect by that energy. Sorry, this is my little dog. Bailey, say another. We'll find it. And I do this show because I want to help you understand yourself. There she is. That's Bailey. But going solo is about you learning about yourselves. I'm your host of Dare to Dream, Graham Williamson. I'm an international evidential medium and psychic. I get tongue-tied because I'm not thinking. And if you want to concentrate, they want me to concentrate. If you want to contact me, you can email me on a medium77, that's AMEDIUM77 @gmail.com. Send me an email, or go to my online website, Medium Graham Williamson. That's GRAHAM. In America, I've found 7 ways of spelling my name. I only know of 5 in the dictionary, and it's Williamson Online. And my email and my telephone number is 352-409-1060. Leave a voice message. Thank you. And we will be taking a break in a couple of seconds. But I want you to think about how many times you felt your loved ones being near you. And I'll tell you why. And I hope you'll be here when I get back. The whole point of this show is about communication, and it never stops on this side of the realm or on the other. They are always trying to connect with loved ones. How would you feel being stuck on the other side and not be able to communicate with anybody on this side? That's why we have mediums. Think about it. Now, I'm your host, Graham Williamson, on Dare to Dream. I'm an international intuitive evidential medium and psychic. I'm hoping you've enjoyed this. And the reason why I'm stuttering is because I'm having to switch off from allowing spirit to work through me to thinking and concentrating what's in front of me physically. There's a difference, a big difference. But I know Cece's going to be taking over in a minute and doing the advert. And it's important for this show. Thank you for being here. Thanks, Cece. Welcome back. Thanks, Cece. I asked you to think about your loved ones that have passed just before the break. Why do you think they want to come back to talk to you? Because half the time they want to say sorry. Another time is to say, stop beating yourself up. There's nothing you can do about it. We got physically. You can't change the past, my friends. You can only use the past to make yourself stronger, emotionally and physically. You've got to do your best for yourself in honor of those that have passed away. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the fact one of my close friends went to the Falklands War on my ship and never returned. And being an ex-Navy guy, I did 14.5 years, 1971 to 1986. I met a lot of people, saw a lot of things, and did a lot of things. But my friend, he paid the ultimate. I still see him. I actually described to the White House in England where he died. And he asked me, how did I know? Because he showed me. You see, spirit are not dormant. They don't just go to sleep. Some do, but that's by choice. There's all different levels of spirit. Those that passed over feel that they haven't completed their task and do their best. Sometimes you get the word haunting and ghosts popping up, which are real entities, and they do exist. But in this case, I'm being on the positive side and showing you that 9 times out of 10, you can just say, go away. I don't want you. I don't recognize you. Leave me alone. I don't want to be bothered. That's what most people do. I don't want to be bothered by ghosts. I'm scared. But after the time when I find out those ghosts that they're scared of, or the loved ones, they're only trying to come back to say, hey, I'm here. I'm okay. I'm still living. I still love you. Or I'm sorry. I wish I could have loved you better. Or whatever reason, they come back to communicate. I felt ghosts have felt so sad. I was like, why are you so sad? Because I failed them. Then do something about it. As my instant rejoinder, I talk to them and say, you're not stuck where you are. You're making yourself stand still. You're not evolving because you, woe is me. There's a type of medium called a rescue medium. When somebody dies traumatically, they don't even have time to realize they've passed over. And they encapsulate themselves into a figurative world of their own creation on the spirit realm. And their lights are pretty dim because we've all got a spirit light within us, and those that are free shine. Those that aren't free, cloud it with emotional layers. I call it the onion layers. And that hides their light. But the light's still pure inside, buried under all that emotional trauma, anger, whatever it is, it's buried. But when you look into yourself and you find the light of yourself, self-enlightenment, that unleashes all that energy, all that positivity. But when you pass over, you choose sometimes to stay in your little world. Or why isn't anybody talking to me? Why are people just ignoring me? Because they don't understand that they've passed over and nobody can see them, feel them, hear them. And you have to be a lot more careful with these people. Hey, Lee, welcome, my friend. Lovely to see you. Thanks for coming. And this is why mediums are so important, to pass on that energy, the spirit that's on the other side, and pass on their message. So, well, they're feeling like they want to tell you something. You feel like talking, and I feel a lot of emotional stuff, or they passed away with a head injury, or whatever. The medium can normally pick up those sensitivities within themselves from the spirit. Remember what I said about the memory? If you bang your head, you suddenly get a headache. When you're talking to somebody, it's not yours. It's spirit saying, they've got headaches. I know it sounds daft, and it's obvious. But until you point it out, it isn't obvious. That's why spirit are always trying to tell us they're still here. They're using your memories. You've got to acknowledge them instead of just thinking, oh yeah, okay, I'm just thinking about one, I'll just push it aside. How would you feel like you see somebody walking down the street and they've come up to see you and you just turn around and walk away? Because that's basically what you're doing to spirit. When you're thinking about them, it's because they've triggered that memory and you just walk away and shut the door on them. They don't exist. They're dead. I don't know. Because they're still living entities. They still have that light of energy they created. That's their spirit energy. And we're all connected. And think about it, as I said earlier, excuse me. Somebody's sticking their nose in my business and my nose is itching. I've learned one side's private, the other side's public. So, family's talking about me, which is good. Because they're talking about me, they're leaving everybody else alone. And I make light of it because I can't control anything. I can only control me. When I consciously think, I can control it. When I'm working with spirit, I've allowed them control, in part, of me, my energy. Use my memories, use my sensations, my feelings, my past, to help convey their message to a recipient. And that's important to me because my purpose, my mission, is to prove life after death. And I've done that so many times. And those that know me know this is what I'm like all the time. I'm crazy. I love laughter. My wife calls me the comedic medium because I enjoy helping people with a smile, positivity. I don't give negative readings. How would you like to know that you got cancer or you've got this ailment, you've got that ailment, you're not going to live long? No way. We're about upliftment, positivity, which is what Going Solo is about positivity, upliftment, sharing. So many different factions in this group of people, each one doing their best to uplift somebody else. I've been married twice. This is my third. I've had to leave my children from my first marriage. Big gap, big heartache. But I did my best at the time, and I'm still doing my best to help solve heartache. But I can't change what I did. I know why I did it, so they have a stable life. But all that resentment, all that sadness from them, it hurt them. And I fully understand it. I know what it's like not to have a father. My real father left when I was a year and a half. I had 5 kids. Yeah. And I was named after him. And I hated that name for a very long time. Now I don't, because hate's a waste of energy. I know when he passed over, he came over to me in spirit and said, sorry. Yeah. I didn't know his energy at first. But then I started seeing pictures that my grandmother used to have on the dresser in our main living room when I lived with my grandparents and my mum and my siblings and my uncle. And every time I see that picture, I know it's him triggering it. And it makes me glad that he's realised he was wrong. He wishes he'd done something different. So you see, they atone for what they do if you allow them. If not, they've got to do it all themselves. They may have to come back into another life of existence. I don't know what as. I really don't. We call it reincarnation, but it could be anything. I don't know. I've seen so many things that defy logic. But because of my love for spirit and understanding of spirit, I know I am lucky to actually recognize it as a message from spirit. So every time you think of something from a friend, say thank you. What's the time? We've got 5 more minutes. So answer this question now. Are they still with us? Heck yes. Can you do anything about it? Yes. Is it for your benefit? Yes. Is it for theirs? Yes. But you choose. And stop living in the past. Learn to face the past and say, I've learned. I wish it was different, but it can't be different. Only your outcome can be different. From that moment, you recognize it's your choice to choose heaven or hell. Oh, that person was abusive to me and he deserved it. Yeah, he probably did. But you've done exactly the same back to him by saying he deserved it. He didn't know any better. He may have had an illness. He may have been brought up that way himself. He didn't know how to break the circle or the chain. You, as a person living on this earth, can break all those chains. You can be the individual that stops the abuse or creates even more positive attitudes, more love than hate. I don't hate my real father. I feel sad for him. He missed out on a fantastic life. My stepfather was fantastic. My grandparents were beyond measure. My mum, who doesn't love the mother? She taught me the basics. She taught 5 siblings. Thanks, Lee. She taught me the basics of being a medium. But she didn't tell us, you've got to do it this way. You can only do it that way. She let me evolve my own way. Sometimes she said, have you thought what this could mean? And it made me question and look at it and say, no, I could have done better on that. Thanks, Mum. Because I still get lessons from her. I still get a big kiss on the cheek. I know it sounds ludicrous, but my mother knows I still love her. My father knows I love him. And my real father. But I love my kids. I love my wife. I love my stepdaughters. I love my son. And my daughter. The mother of that picture. My mother did that picture. My grandparents. The 2 old fogies on the bench. That's my mum and dad. The opinions of the household are not necessarily that of the management. Are they, dear? And it still makes us laugh. And all the keepsakes of our past. Our memories are our past. Our loved ones are in that category. Our past. Those that have passed over. But they're not forgotten. And they're going to be with you as long as that love connection exists. And it'll exist all the time for eternity. From them for you. Even if you shut the door on them this side, they'll still love you. Because they're always with us. Every minute. Even my friend Cece posted something about her mother passing. I was laughing because, heck, woman, yes, she's still laughing. Because I am lucky enough to listen to my body, and I saw her picture and I just got her laughing. That's what I felt, the laughter. She was, what about your hair, Cece? You have to tell me about that later, off camera. But you see, they're always with us. Spirit will never leave us alone. You can choose to shut the door on them, but they won't shut the door on you because they have love for you. Now, I'm your host on Dare to Dream, Graham Williamson, international intuitive evidential medium and psychic. I hope you've enjoyed this show. If you have, contact me by going to my email, which is a medium77@gmail.com. Send us an email, or go to my website, mediumgrahamwilliamson.online. I do post stuff up there occasionally of spiritual orientation. Or give me a phone call on 352-409-1060. Please leave a voice message so I can respond. I've enjoyed the show today, even though I've been tongue-tied, tripping over my words. It's because they want me to say a lot more. So I'll do another show in 2 weeks' time, same channel. And I hope you've enjoyed it. And don't be afraid of talking to your loved ones that have passed, because they'd love to hear from you. They're always with you. And I can't say any more than that. But this is WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, radio, TV and podcasts. Going Bold Wednesday. My next show is August the 17th at 5 p.m. EST. Please leave a comment on my post of the video. Leave a comment. Come in and join us. Ask questions. I can even do a little demonstration sometimes. I never know what the heck my show is going to be until I'm doing it. Because Spirit like me to trust my instinct, because they're always with me. Hope to see you soon. Thank you for watching.